Hello everyone, I'm here today with a flip-through video. This is my Portland album from May of 2022, and I'm using an Ali Edwards 6x8 album here. And one of the things I love about these is the spine is wider than most 6x8 albums from what I have found. Now I do want to show you this. I'm only halfway done. I do have pictures and things dropped in here, but the layouts aren't done. But look at this. It's already really full. And I have tried to be careful with how many 3D things I put in here to keep it as relatively flat as possible. But, you know, I'm a scrapbooker. I like the fun things. So we'll see how the second half goes. But let's look at the first half. This is my opening page. I just used a postcard that I bought in a gift shop. I think that was in the airport. Added some little ephemera pieces, did the date. I kept it pretty simple, but I love the way it looks, and Portland is known as the city of bridges, so I figured that was appropriate. And one of the things about this album you'll see is I have lots of different sizes happening in terms of pages and inserts. I tried to include a lot of memorabilia like brochures and maps and things, plus I have 3x8 inserts, 4x8. I have lots of things happening. So here's just a shot of waiting for the plane, some acrylic, a fabric piece, and then here's my first 3x8 insert. This one also happens to have a photo flip, so you get both of those there. Oops. And then usually if I have a photo flip that goes vertically on the top here like this, I put a little tab so it's clear. You're supposed to lift that up. If I have flips that go horizontally, I tend not to do it. Those seem to be more obvious, I think. So you may notice that as we go through. And then I have story of journaling of grabbing the wrong bag at the airport. So I haven't done that ever. And so I had to tell the story because you would think at this point I'm a seasoned traveler, I would think to check, but I didn't because my bag is kind of unique. I've never seen anybody else with it, but now I know there is somebody else who has it. And here I have a map of our first major stop of the day, or not a map, a brochure that can be fully opened. So it lives outside of a page protector. And then this was our first meal in Portland. We went out to lunch at this complex here, the Kennedy School. So I have all of our lunch photos, minimal embellishments here. Now, of course, after saying, I'm going to try to keep it flat, then I have a patch in here, which raises the page, up quite a bit. But it was just too cool to pass up. And then I did some ink splattering around it in gold glitter to just liven it up a bit. And I really like that. There's just some more pictures around the complex, a little bit of journaling. And I wanted to include photos from the neighborhood because I really loved where we stayed. We were in the Alberta Arts District not along Alberta Street, but near it. And I just loved the different styles of houses. All the yards were beautiful, and I wanted to showcase that. And then here is our cottage, our Airbnb. And I also have included some of these flip out pages in this album as well. So there are quite a few. There will be more. But here's one right here. So you can get the full view of where we stayed, and we loved it. It was perfect for us. And then this was our first dinner. We were getting settled in and just kind of hanging around the neighborhood and stuff. And so we decided to order in pizza rather than go out. And then here's a flip as well. Pretty simple, just some stamping, very flat on this one. And then the next morning we decided to go to a neighborhood coffee place that was close enough to walk to. So we did that. Again, this one's very flat. This one is as well, but there is a photo flip here. We did a grocery order and had it delivered so that we would have things at our Airbnb and not have to eat out every meal and get snacks out all the time. That worked out really well. I think our whole grocery order was less than $100. I think maybe 75, 80, somewhere in there. And when we left one frozen meal thing and a couple of waters, and that's it. We used everything else. So that was a really smart choice for us. Then I have a picture of my friend here outside our door. And then this is Later that day, we decided to go to this place, and we had a heck of a time. Apparently, it's known by like 4 different names. And when you put it into your phone, it doesn't always map you where you need to be. It sent us to the wrong entrance, which was totally out of the way. So we did a lot of extra walking that day for no good reason other than that the phone didn't pull the right entrance for us. So lesson learned. And then here I did have a little bit of bulk because I used some chipboard there. And I figured if I already had one on this side, might as well do one here. So this little asterisk is chipboard as well. And then this is chipboard too, but it's much thinner than these pieces. I think this is from, I want to say Freckled Fawn. Theirs tend to be a little bit thinner. This is as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they don't add as much bulk as some of the others. But then, you know, I added sequins here, which are bumpy and definitely not flat, but they're just so pretty. And I wanted to use them with these particular photos, so they're in there. And then here's another map and brochure that I included. And I tried when I had these to have them live outside of the page protector rather than trying to fit them inside one, which would add another layer of stuff and make it thicker. And then here I did include a photo with it, but I put it right on the back. Another chipboard there, some thick washi. And here's another one that's really flat. I just did a lot of stamping on this one really for the embellishments, and that's really all it took, which was nice. And this was dinner later that night. We went back to the Airbnb and just kind of rested for a couple of hours after doing all that walking. And then we decided to go out to a local place for dinner where we could walk to it. So we did that. And this was probably the best meal that we had the entire time we were there. There is a photo flip here as well, but I tried to keep the embellishments relatively flat because of that. So there is a little puffy sticker, a wood veneer. This is pretty thin though. I mean, look at that. Pretty darn thin. So the next morning we decided to explore Alberta Street with all the fun shops and murals and things. It was very colorful, very vibrant, and so this is pretty indicative of what we saw. And again, I try to keep it flat, so I just did a lot of phrase labels here, one little rhinestone. Everything here is flat, but this is a flip out. But all of these things flat. Trying to be good. Here as well, these are epoxy stickers, so it's a little bit thicker than normal, but not like an acrylic piece or a thick piece of chipboard. Then here's another 3x8 insert, and this I actually put on the outside of the page protector because I didn't want to have to cut it in half. But this was a kid's bookstore, and it said books, and the color matched. So I thought, well, I have to put it on there somehow. So that was the best way that I could find to attach it. And then this was a crafty store that we were specifically looking for. We knew there was one on Alberta Street, and we found it. So we went in here, looked at the Great Wall of washi. And then there's a flip here, but everything here again is flat. After we were done at Alberta Street, we went downtown. There are also multiple fountain areas in downtown Portland, and so we wanted to see those. So we visited a couple, and here you can see all I have on here as well. A little bit of thin chipboard, that's it. This is flat. So I really tried to think hard about matching my colors and what kind of embellishments I had. And for the most part, I think I did pretty well. Then here's another flip out. So there you go. That's what it looks like when it's all laid out. I really love these. And here again, flat embellishments. These are just digital files that I printed and cut myself, so that makes it very easy. And this was a sticker I already had, and it just happened to match. And that's from Pretty Little Studio, I believe. And then here they have other fountains that are called, I think it's called Animals in Pools, if I'm not mistaken. These are around like a 3 to 4 block radius in Portland, and so we went and found all of those. So those are in here as well. And I just did some stamping. There is a flip here, flat sticker, and a couple puffy stars. That's it there as well. And then here's another 3x8 insert. I just wanted to show our transportation because we had taken the bus already, but we hadn't taken the train yet. And here we got to take the train. So that was fun. And we took it from downtown to Chinatown because we wanted to go to the Lansu Chinese Garden. And that's what you will see coming up next. So here's where we entered the garden. And again, I kept this pretty flat too. I love this card. I just love the style and the colors. And then here's another flip out. This one's a little bulkier because I had to add lots of stuff. I used Pinterest for inspiration, and I had to add a lot of layering type stuff. So I have enamel dots, I have a tag with string, I have chipboard, I have multiple things happening here, multiple pieces of chipboard, stickers, paper, tags. It was a lot, but I really love the way it turned out. This is one of my favorite layouts in the whole first half of the album, if I'm honest. And here we are, we're still in the garden, but this is very simple, just a little bit of some pattern paper that had a foil on it, which I liked. Little embellishment here. Now here's another example where I used the brochure. Outside the page protector, kept it the way it was so you could open the map, but then I incorporated a layout on the back so that I wouldn't have two layouts essentially. I wouldn't need two page protectors or anything. I did this outside the page protector and made it its own layout, and I love the way that turned out. So I try to do that more in my albums. And this is just continuing through the garden. Very minimal embellishments here. This was our lunch still in the garden, and then I do have a flip here, so there's a little tab to lift up, and it's just our receipt that they emailed me. Little puffy sticker. There's another puffy sticker there. Little one here. Nothing too crazy, but I think the colors and the style work together. Here's another one in the garden, very flat. It's just these two things with a little stamping, and that's it. So that was a lot to fit into one day, and it was like early evening, and so we decided, you know what, we're just done. We're gonna go back to the Airbnb and take it easy for the evening. So we stayed in, we worked on some stitching projects that we had. We ate leftovers from Jinx, and the pizza place we had salad with that. So we just ate leftovers for dinner, and it was great just to have a very quiet, relaxing evening with, you know, a movie in the background. So then the next morning we got up, and our first stop of the day was the Portland Zoo, which we were very excited for. So I just included a transportation photo here so you can see we were out quite a ways to get there. This is kind of outside of the city a little bit, and so it was kind of a long ride. This took us about an hour each way. And I had to do bus first and then train. And here, minimal embellishments as well. There's a tiny little puffy dot there. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. And then just labels on the inside, that's it. Didn't really need anything else. And then here, again, very flat. Lots of stickers. Actually, that's it. I didn't do any stamping on here. I didn't do any wood veneer, no acrylic, like nothing crazy at all, just stickers. We were continuing on through the zoo. Again, just stickers here. And I've had this card forever, and I thought, what the heck am I going to do with that? And it just worked out that I was finally able to use that card. And I think that's from Coco Daisy. And then here I have a 4x8 insert. I liked this photo of the two of us. I wanted to showcase that. And then our African area of the zoo. So we had the big cats here and the giraffes. Again, very flat, just a lot of stickers here. But it worked out, and the colors just matched to kind of do that gold, green, and this blue. It worked out, and I had what I needed, so why add anything else? And then here we are at the last layout for the first half of the album, the penguins and the seals, or sea lions. Can't remember what they are. I think they're sea lions. And I just used some puffy stickers that I had. I think that's Pink Fresh. I think this is Citrus Twist. This is probably Citrus Twist as well. Just a little washi sticker that had the date on it. And I incorporated a postcard from the zoo that I bought that also happened to have penguins. So I was able to kind of mix those two groups of animals together. And I'm happy with the way that turned out. So now you've seen the whole first half of the album. That's quite a bit so far. We were there a full week, so there's a lot to fit in. So I definitely have more coming, and I hope you'll stay with me to watch that part 2. Thanks for watching.